a lot for coming. I know everybody's excited to see John Davis.
Introduce yourself.
I'm Jerry Ryan with Sport Chevrolet. Proud to be here.
It's his car, not mine. So.
Current, it's only for a very short time. But proud to be here. Thank you so much for coming. We're so happy that we were able to be part of this car show today, their first MPT car show. And even more exciting to have John Davis standing next to me introducing our brand new Corvette Stingray. So without much further ado here, John.
Oh no, this is your car, Jerry. So you want to unveil it?
Yes, sir.
Jerry?
We will do it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the 2014 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray. Now, how many Corvette enthusiasts or fans do we have in the audience? I assume this is the first time you've actually seen the car in person. Okay. You probably know a lot of details about it, so I'm not going to bore you. But for those of you that aren't familiar, this is, despite the fact that Corvettes go back to the 50s, this is only the 7th redesign of this car. So they call this the C7. And it also brings back the legendary Stingray name from the 60s. This car, if you've read anything about it, you probably know that it's gotten really universally rave reviews from everybody that does what I do, which is test cars for a living, and most of the enthusiasts, and I'll get to that in a second. The pertinent facts about the car is this is the most powerful standard Corvette ever. 455 horsepower right out of the box. If you get the sport-tuned exhaust, which most of the buyers so far that have ordered the car are getting it, it bumps that up to 460. And this is just the standard car. So it's probably in years to come going to go up from there. The car has got everything you see on the car, all the vents and the holes, they really work, or they can be made to work. So when the boy racers get ready to put this car on the track, they'll be able, they've got the ductwork for the brake cooling and the engine cooling already there. It'll be a very easy car to convert. From my standpoint, as an auto rider, the things that impresses me, besides the fact that the car is a remarkable car to drive as far as handling, is some of the technology that this car has, and really in things that you see but you don't realize you're seeing something. The hood on this car and the roof panel are not aluminum, they're not plastic, they're not fiberglass, they're really carbon fiber. And so this car is a milestone in the amount of lightweight carbon fiber it has both in the exterior and also on some of the trim for a production car where they're going to make many thousands of them. Up to now, most carbon fiber has been a little bit of trim pieces, or it's been hand-built cars where they've built, maybe a couple of dozen a year. This car has a lot of carbon fiber and aluminum and magnesium to keep the weight down, so that with that horsepower, it's amazing performance. So, okay, how fast does it go? Anybody know? 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds. Okay, and I can tell you that it will do that. We've had most of those of us in the press had a chance to drive the car in various conditions, and not nearly spend as much time as I'd like in it, but the car will do that. It's got all models come with Brembo brakes, which is the best name in brakes. The biggest revelation, though, for anybody here that owns a Corvette is when you sit in it, and that is finally you've got an interior that's worthy of what the car will actually do. Even the standard seats are excellent. The instrument panel still reminds you very much of a Corvette. The whole car itself is very evolutionary, but the quality of the materials is there, the way the controls work is there, and of course it's got all the latest in telematics and everything you read about that modern cars are having today. There really just isn't anything that has been disappointing about the car, except a few people took pot shots at the taillights. Yeah. Because they're not round, which is historically the way they are. I'm sorry, I don't mean to insult you, but get over it. It doesn't I don't think they look like a Camaro, even though I think they obviously favor it. But more importantly, I think it gives the car a look that says this is slightly a departure. And you know what? I wouldn't take bets against it when they freshen this car in a couple of years. It doesn't go back to round tail lights. I've seen that kind of thing happen before. Those of you that are Corvette fans, if you haven't ordered the car, I think you're going to be awfully tempted, especially if you get any chance to actually drive it. And I hope that's not my car with a horn on it. Good. So it's pretty amazing. It's the first car that's happened to today. Let's see. Is there anything, Jerry? Is there anything? Base price of the car, and this is pretty interesting. This car will hold its own against cars that cost $250,000 or more. This car has a base price of about $54,000. And when you get the two things that almost every buyer has ordered, which is the Z51 package, which is only about $2,800 bucks, and the Sport Tune exhaust, you're still under 60 grand for a car that will hold its own against cars that cost 4 times that amount. Even we in our business were shocked at how low the price is, given what you're getting in this car. And I think it says a lot about the American auto industry. It's been a tough decade. Companies like General Motors and Chrysler have come back and come back very strong. And if there was ever any doubt that Chevrolet could build a world-class car again, you not only got this, but they've got several other models around here too. If you're into big cars at all, go look at the Impala. If you've ever seen a big Chevrolet before, or for that matter, a big GM car, you won't believe it. So with that said, guys, I'm sorry.
Steve, go on.
Steve just came back with training on this car. And I don't know, has anyone got questions about it? Because I don't know the answer to Steve. What's the top speed?
I don't know the exact top speed. I mean, we got it out there on the track. We probably had it up to about 118.
It will do 5 years. It will do, correct me if I'm wrong, somebody, it will do, according to GM, it will do 200, or if you're just shy. No, on a track. not in America. Maybe like you do 50 in America. Yes.
Down 270, 200 miles an hour, see what happens.
Cars that were traveling to the shows didn't have VIN numbers, and those cars will be destroyed.
They have a lot of pre-production cars out there that are at the track now being tested and so forth, and those cars will not be sold. They'll be taken apart for parts and so forth.
What they do with those cars is, besides, I mean, a couple of them will obviously get into museums, but if they don't have a factory production VIN number, and sometimes they have a number on them that's not a real VIN number, the press gets to test them. That's all used. The cars we get are often like that. And these are cars that basically are early production cars. There's several levels of production where they're ramping it up. If you go to the GM Proving Grounds a couple years from now, you'll see those cars being used as mules for new versions of the Corvette. They'll put a different motor in it, different suspension or so forth, or they'll chop them up for parts. They really don't go to crushers unless it's something very early, but they may end up being used for crash testing. So I can guarantee you none of them go to waste. None of them go to waste. It takes an enormous amount of research and development to produce a modern car these days.
So, Jerry, is this car going to a purchaser?
Yeah, actually, the owner is
here.
here. I don't know if he wants to be recognized or not, but Milton Atterbury, this is his car.
I want to personally thank Jerry and everybody at Ford Chevrolet for doing this very, very special unveiling at our first Motorweek Carnival. This is the first year we've done this event. Thank you all for coming out. But to have this car here when very few people have actually seen it in the flesh, so to speak, is a rare treat. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank Milton for letting us have all of that.